at the door. Oh, God.
I guess I missed a joke. Looks like the band's bounced back a little bit.
So there you be. And Dennis, we've got a friend down here that's...
Might be the vintage sideband net again.
KWS1. No, KW1. No, that's not it. KWS1. I think that's what we're talking about. Hold on a second. No, KWM1. I'm sorry. KWM1, Dennis.
I can never keep the Collins gear straight either. It's always K something, K something.
Appreciate it. It's beautiful, from what I understand. Okay, enough time spent. Let's see. I'm giving it to you, Ken. KW1 NG. Take it away, my friend. W6YEC.
All right, George, thank you very much. KW1NG here in Alpine, Angeles, Ken, about 30 miles east of San Diego. And I beg the apologies, or I offer my apologies tonight. I didn't have time to warm up the S-Line, so I am on a IC7610 transceiver. But I am driving a 30L1 amplifier, so I'm halfway there. Where the rubber meets the road, it is vintage. So it's going out through an MFJ 998 tuner to an NFED, a 92 or 95 foot NFED with a 921 balun at the bottom of it. And so that's what we're on tonight, running about 650 watts peak, something like that. I have two stories on folded antennas. My novice antenna, this was in 1968. I was 13 or 14, I don't remember. But my grandfather was an electrician, and he had this big spool of lamp cord. And it wasn't the modern lamp cord that you pull apart, you know, with vinyl insulated. It was cotton-covered wires with some rubber insulation, and then some cotton covering over those, and then there was a cotton covering over the whole bunch. It was the old lamp cord. And he had this big spool of it, and he gave it to me because I said I needed some wire to make an antenna, so he offered that to me. So I had a 40 meter, I had an old ARRL handbook, and I saw the folded dipole in there. So I made a 40 meter dipole and brought the twin lead down in, twisted lead, I guess, power lead, down into my room. They put a hole in the screen, which my mother just loved, and brought it into my DX60. And I think the DX60 had a phono plug, so I thought of two wires, one on the outside, one on the inside, and then hooked up the zip cord or the lamp cord to it, and it would do, and I could get on 40 meters and I could get on 15 meters. So I had it, the antenna was just laid on the roof, separated off the roof by a couple of boxes, and it worked. So I did that was my novice antenna, and I worked all over the place with it, and it was a lot of fun. So that's one. And the other is I'm staring at it right now. I haven't put put it up yet. It's going to go outside. But I bought one of these copper pipe Slim Jims. It's a modification of a J-pole. And it's got a half-wave folded element on the top. And it's fed by a quarter-wave folded element. And then that is shunt fed kind of in a gamma match fashion with a piece of coax that's about 4 or 5 inches up from the bottom. And there's a gap on one of the pipes at the quarter wave point. And it's basically a ZEP type where you have a quarter wave section fed feeding the end of a half-wave section. So it's sort of a folded dipole, kind of, fed by a quarter wave transformer section, transmission line section. So you could do that as an antenna, and it does work on odd multiples. So this one works on 2 meters and 440, and I'm going to put it up outside, but that is technically a folded dipole, I think, because the radiating section is a half wave, but it's folded over, so it's like a folded monopole, but it is a dipole because it's a half wave section that does the radiating. Anyway, those are my stories. I appreciate hearing everybody else's, and Rocco, thanks for running it tonight, and that's a very good question because it makes you think a little bit about all the things that have been done. But, yeah, I've read about all the the terminated, folded, and tilted, terminated, and all that. So they're broadband because they have a dummy load built into them. So they work okay if you've got plenty of signal to noise to throw away, which most times on HF you do. 3 dB doesn't matter a whole lot. So, all right, that's it for me. It goes on to Mr. Merck, NU6X. Take it away, KW1NG.
Okay, thanks very much, Ken. This is NU6X in beautiful Sedona, Arizona. Sorry for checking in late. While I was in Japan, you guys changed time zones, and of course Arizona didn't, so I was an hour off, but here I am. Let's see, what do I have to say about a folded dipole? I made a twin lead folded dipole on 2 meters, and I used on 2 meters with my Dawson communicator when I was a novice, which was about 1961 and 9 years old, and that was my antenna on 2 meters. But I don't think I've ever used it on HF. But so I'm going to counter to Rocco with a question: is the pros and cons of a bazooka compared to a folded dipole, compared to a regular dipole, compared to an inverted V? And I'd be interested, what the difference is between a bazooka and a folded dipole. I would imagine they both are a little bit more broadbanded. But, and for the last 30 years, I've run inverted V's just because single support makes it easy. So that's my story, and it goes back to Rocco. This is NU6X in beautiful Sedona, Arizona. But getting your rain, you don't need to send any more rain out here, okay? Thanks.
Well, I think you're going to get some, because we're going to get some coming up here on the weekend. So, yep. Okay. Well, boy, did we have a bunch of good answers tonight. Now, the Golden Cup. I'm really struggling with this one, folks. So let me check something here. W6WUH, are you on frequency? Larry, you still there? I think I said you're there. Are you there? Larry?
I definitely heard something.
Well, maybe not. Okay. I was going to give him second prize because he mentioned that you could slam the window down on a piece of that cheap old polyethylene twin lead. Yeah, you could do that. I wonder how many novices did that. And I'm going to guess a whole bunch of them. solves that problem. But the winner tonight, Ken, KW1NG. Can you hear?
I am.
Yeah, I'm awarding this to you because I loved your story about a friend giving you a Rolodex. The ancient AC line and making a folded dipole out of that and throwing it up there on the roof. And then a hole in the window screen. Perfect. The perfect cheapo, free novice antenna, and it worked. So you get the Golden Cup Award, Ken. What do you think of that?
Oh, that's really cool. Thank you. Yeah, that was a great antenna. I mean, it really worked. I used it on 40 and 15 and made contacts all over the place. I had no idea what I was doing. I had no idea about propagation. I knew nothing. I was a novice. I was barely able to do my 5 words a minute, you know, and that was a struggle. So, but I just had so much fun with radio. My grandfather, who lives in Costa Mesa there with us, around, you know, a few blocks away, I used to just hang out in his garage all the time because he had all these really cool things like, you know, old big fuses and insulators and, you know, just electrician stuff. He was an electrician with the LA Department of Water and Power, and one of the jobs that I have pictures of him working on was the big LA Exposition in the 1930s, where they electrified everything, and he had lights everywhere. And, oh gosh, it was just an inspiration to get into radio because of you know, all things electrical there. So anyway, that was a really fun antenna, and I don't remember what kind of boxes they were. I think they were banana boxes, you know, those ones that got coated with wax. And I just laid it on top of the roof and used it. I didn't know any better. I did have a nice receiver. My lawn mowing and window washing enterprise paid for an SB300 that was on closeout at the Heathkit store in Anaheim, and I bought the last
The
one.
Heathkit store?
I built that, and I guess I built it okay because it did work. And I used that and my DX60. It just had a great old time with it. Had that for a long time. I'm sorry I got rid of it. I would love to have it today. Anyway, thank you for the Golden Cup, Rocco. That's kind of fun. Appreciate that. So, N6KN, back to you, KW1NG. Good evening.
Real quick, Ken, if I can, Rocco, what years did your father work for LA Water and Power?
Oh, it was my grandfather, and well, it was 30s, 40s, 50s, I'm sure, because I think he retired in the late 50s.
Okay, so and I was going to say he worked for my father, but if it was your grandfather, my father must have worked for him, and eventually my father ran LA Water and Power. Anyway, good enough. Back to you, Rocco. Sorry for the interruption. NU66.
Oh, very cool. Yeah, I didn't know that. His name was George Pugsley. I don't know if that would ring a bell or not.
Not to me, and my father's been, dead for 10 years, so I can't ask him. But anyway, I won't bother you. Back to you, Rocco, NU66.
Hey, Rocco.
Go ahead.
Yeah, W6WUH. I wanted to let you know that I use 450 ohm ladder line here, and the way it gets out of the shack is it goes over the top of the door, and I shut the door on it. Been that way for 35 years. I'm using it right now with 800 watts.
Oh, I love it. I just love it. I seem to remember one of my buddies used the cheapy twin lead, and I think he used thumbtacks where it came in over the edge of the window, so it made kind of a U with it, and you could just slam the window down on it, which wouldn't, who cared? And there it was. Oh, jeez. All right, thank you guys. Great answers. I learned a lot tonight. Yeah, N6KN is going to close down the Vintage SSV Roundtable. That was a good one. And see y'all later. And I'm clear.